right, good morning. Today is Monday. I don't really like Mondays. Holy. I just got the dry barn bedded. We put through one side of it at least, so there's 6 corn trash bales in there. All the manure's pulled out into the pile. We can spread that later once we're done the beans. I'm gonna take the JCB across the road, get that put away, and I think Bob and I are gonna go try the beans this morning. See where we're at. We have 25-30 acres left at that farm, so we'll see how far we get. It's a bunch of little fields. I don't think there's a field over 4 or 5 acres, and there's about 14 of them left. So we got our work cut out for us today. So let's go take a shot and see what we can come up with. The sheep are well, they're sheeping. Head's already on for me. That's one less thing I have to do. Bob's working on blowing out the combine. Perfect. We're off to the races here. So there's the JCB put away. Perfect. My tractor's on the Lemken. I call this my tractor just because I've spent, I think, the most time in it so far this year. I put that away on the weekend when I was in, I had a couple acres to till. We're gonna take my truck now over to the shop, park that up, grab the F-150 with the head on it, and go do some beans. The wife packed me a fruit roll-up for my lunch. Cool. So Bob has given me a stand-up pitcher of motor oil for my grain cart that I have to now drive down the road with and pray it doesn't fall over. I guess we're doing a day on hard mode. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not too big a fan doing this job on hard mode because, let's be honest, it's on hard mode from the start. Sheeping. All right. He got us a little swath here to get this here header cart pulled away. So we're gonna go grab some wagons. First truck of the day getting loaded. We're gonna go down the road a little bit. I'll follow him with the head once again. And we should be home by 8. So like I said before, most of what we're doing right now is these tiny little fields, like 5-6 acres a piece. And just the volume of having so many of them, we're constantly taking the head on and off, going down the road, putting it back on, taking it back off, going down the road. It takes up a lot of time. So a lot of the guys we know are already moved on to corn. We have a lot of high moisture corn to do. We got 2 more bags of it, but we're gonna be done beans probably by Wednesday, Thursday, today being Monday. And we'll be back at the corn next week. So we just gotta see where today gets us. Today will be the main deciding factor of that, if we can get all this part done. Hello, truck. Goodbye, truck. Back moving the head again. This should be our last 40 acres of beans, if I'm not mistaken. So today should be our last day at the beans. After today, we should be able to wash this head up, stick it in the barn, leave it alone. So we are gonna see how today goes. 40 acres between 4 fields, I believe. We've got a pretty simple day, but we got a lot of rain coming tonight. So I think we're getting 10 mils after like 6-7 o'clock. So time to hammer down and knock out these last 40. Over the last 3 weeks, we have gone from having some pretty considerably wet beans to having dry and dusty and hard to see out of the auger. So we've come full circle. This right here should be our last time putting the flex draper on for the 2024 season. After that, we got a 6-row corn head. It can go down the road. It's a little bit wider than the combine, but we only have to put it on once. So no more hauling this around. The last time cutting a swath for the header trailer for 2024. Only problem with combining such dry beans like so late, right? The later you go, the drier they are, obviously. The only problem you face is, let's take this for example. You take this bean pod here, they crack open so easy and they're so brittle, they pop open, which means they shell through the combine really, really easily. However, the other problem you face is head loss. Now, head loss is when your header and your knife bars rattle the stalks around, and you got this right here on the ground. There's a bean there. There's a half a bean there. There's a bean over there. So that's what's called head loss. That being said, we're going to leave Bob in the field to do his thing. He's going to open up these last 4 fields. We're going to go grab the Massey with the Super Tilt dump cart, and we're going to bring that up to him, and we are going to pull our last 40 acres of beans off for the year. What a time to be alive. I'm just a little upset I didn't bring my drone today, but that'll be making a return for fall tillage and when we do corn. We got a lot of corn to do. And by a lot, I mean, I think about 300 acres to do between our high moisture corn and custom field corn we have to do. So there'll be more drone content coming up soon, which gives me something else to film, because sitting here holding a camera, I run out of ideas pretty quickly. Does anybody else hate tractors with these weird floor parking brakes? Like, I'm not a fan of them. I always forget they're there. It's weird. All right, let's go, Massey. And there it is, folks. That is the last field of beans of ours, anyways. Bob's got 10 acres of beans to do for a neighbor. While he's doing that, I'm gonna go and empty the bins, or empty the wagons into the bin. Gonna go put my dry box manure spreader on, and then I'm gonna go at the dry manure until tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna be putting some tin on the barn. I don't think I'll film that. It's pretty boring. Like I said before, we still have plenty of corn coverage. We still have 200 acres of grain corn and about, I think, 60 acres of high moisture to do. So we'll see where we end up. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm sick and tired of pulling that head. Putting rocks in it, blowing guards, blowing knives, dragging the thing around. I've had enough fun for 1 year. All right, so Bob is gonna go handle those last 10 acres for the neighbor. So I'm gonna go and unload the 2 wagons from the last 40 acres of ours into the bin. And then I gotta take the little Challenger off, put it on the dry manure spreader, get it ready to go for tomorrow, or I guess Thursday now. And that'll be Thursday's job before I get at some disking on Friday. It's gonna be a little bit of a busy and scattered week, but that just means we can get hard at the corn Monday morning. All right, Massey's up first. It's got the most in it, so might as well get it out of the road. All right, now we got this in position, we can go ahead and start firing off the last loads of beans up into the bin. We finished off sprayers winterized. We're gonna get that booted up the road into its hidey hole for the winter, and we're gonna leave it there. I've got some manure and some disking to do for the rest of the week, so there'll be plenty of that content coming, and corn next week. So we ain't done for the year yet. There's still plenty to do. Pull up your socks, grab your tillage equipment. It's time to go farming. So 5 hours later, we have covered 3 farms total. This being the last one, I believe, for today. All over the map. So, started off back at the home farm. I had 3 acres to do there, a tiny little piece. Up the road about 20 minutes, another piece up there, and then we came way down the road through county line, actually. And now we're working this farm here. So it has been an absolute marathon of tillage today. And you know what? I can't complain. Good old auto steer and Netflix are keeping me entertained. Other than that, I really don't know what else to say. Obviously, the Lemkin's holding us great, doing Lemkin business. It's always a treat to run this thing. It's the most satisfying tillage implement I've ever ran, and I'll stand by that. What some of you may know is that disking is more of a springtime activity. It's more of like pre-planting, ground prep, just so you can get those top couple inches of soil nice and loose to make a good seed bed. And a good seed bed is what this thing does really well. The reason we're running it in the fall, specifically right now, is because we have a Ello Scorpion 550, which is a massive stone picker, or at least where I'm from. It's pretty huge. And this farm and 2 other farms like it have a infestation of what I like to call BFSs. Big flipping stones. You can use your imagination. What I mean by that is this farm is infested with these guys. These small ones, which are hard to pick up with a conventional stone picker. You know, the big ones you see on the Millennial Farmer channel. These ones here as well. You'd be forgiven if you thought that was a little piece of compaction. Nope, that there's a stone. There's another one. A couple more like it around here. There's one there. So our stone picker has these two wings that come down like that with augers on them, with little tines, and they'll rotate. They'll windrow all the rocks into the center, and it'll get picked up right in the middle into a hopper, which we can dump in a dump cart or your friendly neighborhood rock pile, which everybody has one, right? My main concern are these things. These things are the absolute bane of a planter, because this thing, you smoke that going, what, 6 miles an hour, you will bend a row unit, screw up an opening or closing wheel, just ruin your day. And this farm, can't see them from here, has about, 20, 30 of these damn day ruiners. So while you can see a stone like that virtually from space and you don't really need to till up the ground for it, what I showed you earlier was not by mistake. Those smaller rocks, while we're here picking up the big ones, we might as well go over it with the stone picker, pick up the small ones, and leave a nice, soft, fluffy seed bed for next year. Case in point, there's one, there's another. That's the one I just showed you over there, that white little speck off in the distance. And the stone picker doesn't really do too well with all this bean trash and nonsense, clover, so we're gonna go ahead and make it all look like that, nice, soft, and fluffy. That way the stone picker can come up and pick them all up, and we can have a much easier time for ourselves. And it's not a bad way to spend Halloween. I'm too old to go trick-or-treating, as much as I'd probably like to, fat guys and candy, right? But big self-driving tractor, shiny piece of blue tillage equipment, and a nice fall sky. What's not to like? As much as I like this tractor for being self-driving, it also, you believe it or not, comes with its own private washroom, right about... Oh, it's on the other side. Hang on. Ah, there it is. Also, a quick side note for my male audience. Tell me, as a kid, this would not have made the best stick in the neighborhood. Like, that is a whole ass hunting rifle. Holy hell. Anybody else do that as kids? Just go out, pick up sticks that look like guns and have, fake gunfights with their friends? If not, your childhood sucked, and I can't help you with that. I'm just a farmer, man. I don't make the rules. So I think I'm gonna keep at it for the next couple hours here. Make sure this field is nice and spick and span for Mr. Stone Picker. And we will catch up with you guys in the next video, which we are gonna go ahead and we're gonna cover at least the high moisture corn, or we're gonna start our grain corn for the year. We'll figure out which ones are worth doing. I believe we're gonna start with the high moisture corn, but I guess we'll find out. So that being said, if you're still young enough to go trick-or-treating, I implore you to do it, because you're only young once, and B, it's free food. If you're an adult, you know exactly how much that means. And if you are too old to go trick-or-treating, please stay home and do something else. Trust me, you're not slick. Are you the goodest of farm dogs? I know you're the best one we have. You don't cause us any guff. Holy hell, I haven't chased you for 3 miles down the road yet.